I held out the box with both hands. It was faded pink, the edges taped. The candy inside was cheap. Lollipops, caramels, gum I'd sorted by color to make it look nicer. My fingers were sticky. My throat was dry. He didn't see any of that. He saw a street girl, a nuisance. He wore a tailored navy suit, shiny shoes, a phone to his ear that never left his hand. When I stepped toward him, he didn't even stop walking. "Candy, sir? Just $1. He paused only because the crosswalk signal turned red. He sighed, reached into his pocket, pulled out a crisp bill like he was flicking away a mosquito, didn't even glance at me. "Here," he said, shoving it into my palm. $1, no words, no eye contact, like charity was a reflex, not a choice. But I didn't thank him. Not right away. Because my eyes had landed on his face, and something inside me cracked open. My heart beat louder than the traffic. My fingers trembled around that dollar bill. And then, "You look just like him," I whispered. His brow furrowed. His phone dropped just slightly. "Excuse me?" I looked up, really looked. "My father," I said. "I've only seen pictures. But you look exactly like him." The light turned green, but he didn't move. The city swirled around us, horns, voices, footsteps, but he just stood there, staring at me like I'd slapped the air out of his lungs. "What did you just say?" he asked, and I answered softly. "My name is Ellie, and my mom said he was a rich man who never looked back." I never knew his name, only that he wore suits, only that he left. Only that when I asked about my father, my mother looked at the wall, not at me. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment above a laundromat. The ceilings leaked in spring. The walls sweated in summer, and winters meant sleeping in coats. But she always made it feel safe. She'd braid my hair in the morning and kiss my forehead before bed, no matter how tired she was from cleaning houses for rich people who never learned her name. She gave me 3 things: a warm hand, a strong back, and silence. Until last month. She was sick, the kind of sick that doesn't get better with soup or sleep. One morning she just didn't get up, and suddenly silence wasn't a protection anymore. It was a curse. I found the envelope tucked behind the cleaning supplies under the sink. Inside, 3 photographs. A younger version of her, eyes brighter, smiling beside a man in a suit and tie. In one photo, he's kissing her cheek. In another, she's pregnant, her hand resting gently on her stomach. And the third photo, it was just him, alone, in a business magazine, a feature on tech billionaires. His name printed bold under the headline, "The Quiet Powerhouse Behind the Empire." I stared at it so long the corners curled in my palm. The man in the photo looked nothing like me. He looked like success, like cold glass and chrome, like someone who never had to count pennies at the grocery store or fix shoes with glue. But I knew. That was him, the man she never cursed, never named, never explained, the one who left before I ever opened my eyes. When I asked her, finally, softly, desperately, she just looked at me and said, "You don't need him." Then she turned her face to the wall again. But now she's gone, and I'm standing on a sidewalk holding a candy box instead of answers. Not because I want pity. Not because I want anything from him. Just because I want him to see me. To see what he left behind. To see what I became without him. The candy I sell, I buy myself. Corner store lollipops, plastic-wrapped mints, chewing gum in bulk. I make a few dollars a day, enough for cheap food, bus fare, and a few nights at a shelter when the weather turns. Every time someone hands me $1 without looking, I swallow the sting and say, "Thank you anyway." But not today. Today. The sting came with a face I knew too well. He didn't recognize me. Of course he didn't. Why would he? I was just another girl on the street with cracked sneakers and sticky fingers. But when I saw that dollar, the exact fold of it, the gesture, like flicking off a piece of lint, something inside me split. And I said it. You look just like him." I didn't plan to say it, didn't rehearse it, didn't think it would matter. But I said it anyway. And the second I did, the second I looked into his eyes and saw them flicker, I knew. He remembered her. Maybe not me. Not yet. But her, he knew. And now I'm going to make sure he knows what came next. He didn't speak for a long time. People passed us on the sidewalk, brushing past as if we were mannequins, frozen, half-posed, irrelevant. But we weren't. Not to each other. Not anymore. His eyes stayed on me, confused, skeptical, maybe even scared. I could see the questions forming behind them, the math, the timeline. And then finally, he asked, barely above a whisper, "What did you say your name was?" Ellie. It felt strange, saying it like that. To him. To the man whose DNA lived in my bones but whose voice had never once called my name. He looked around like he was checking for cameras or witnesses or a way out. Then his voice dropped, and I heard something new in it. "Who was your mother?" I blinked once, twice. "You don't remember her?" "Just tell me," he said, impatient now. So I did. Her name, her face, how she used to wear her hair in a twist when she was nervous, how she used to fold towels into little animals to make me laugh, even when we had nothing. I didn't say the last part, not out loud, that she used to look at his photo when she thought I was asleep, and his face changed, not dramatically. Just enough. A breath caught. A blink lingered too long. His shoulders squared, but his mouth didn't know what to do. "I didn't know," he said finally. "You didn't want to." Silence. "She never told me." "She didn't chase you," I corrected. "That's different." He looked at the ground, and for the first time, he looked human. Not rich, not powerful, just a man standing in front of a girl who could have been his, but wasn't. Not really. Not anymore. "I didn't come to ruin your life," I said. "I don't want money. I don't want to be written into some will." I held up the candy box again, even though my hands shook now. "I sell candy. Because I have to. Not because I want your pity." He stared at it, at the bright wrappers, the smudged label, the crack in the plastic top. Then he looked at me. Really looked. "How long have you been doing this?" "Since she got sick." "And now?" "She's gone." I didn't let my voice crack when I said it, but it wanted to. So badly. A man like him probably thought grief came in waves. To me, it came in sugar, candy that stuck to my fingers and reminded me of everything I couldn't fix. "You said you never wanted anything from me," he murmured. "That's right." "Then, why come up to me at all?" That was the question, wasn't it? The one I'd been asking myself for weeks. Why did I fold that photo and put it in my pocket? Why did I memorize his face? Why did I keep walking until I found the building in the background of that article? Until I knew where he worked, where he might walk on lunch breaks? I guess I just wanted to ask something. Ask. My chest tightened. My hands curled at my sides, and when I spoke, it felt like all the air left my lungs. "Why didn't you ever look for me?" He didn't answer, couldn't, and for the first time in my life I felt powerful in my own pain. Because sometimes power isn't having more. It's being able to stand there, in front of the person who walked away from your entire existence, and not flinch. He didn't answer me, not with words, but his silence cracked, and something inside him broke. I watched it happen. His shoulders, always square, always certain, slumped. His eyes, sharp and dismissive minutes ago, softened like glass warming in the sun. He looked at me, like he had never really seen me before. And maybe he hadn't. Maybe no one had. He sat down. Right there, on the bench beside the street lamp, surrounded by rush-hour chaos. He ran a hand through his hair, perfectly styled until now, and let out a breath that sounded like regret. "You have every right to hate me," he said. I didn't respond. Because this wasn't about hate. This was about space, the kind that forms between silence and absence, the kind that echoes in children who grow up with missing names and blank birth certificates. He looked up. "You remind me of her." His voice cracked slightly on the word her. "She used to stand with her chin just like that when she was mad." I said nothing, because I didn't want memories. I wanted him here, now, real. I was young, ambitious, focused on building something before I turned 30. He laughed bitterly. That sounds pathetic when I say it out loud. I raised an eyebrow. "Yeah, it does." He smiled, the first real one, but it died quickly. I wasn't ready, and when she told me she was pregnant, I told her I couldn't do it. Not then. "So you didn't," I said flatly. He swallowed hard. "I never stopped wondering." "But you stopped looking," I replied. The honesty hit him like a second slap. He didn't defend himself, didn't argue. He just nodded. I deserve that. And maybe he did. But part of me, the part that still remembered my mom's soft hands and cracked knuckles from scrubbing floors, didn't want revenge. I wanted to know if he'd stay, even now, even after the truth was too loud to ignore. "I want to help," he said finally. I stiffened. "That's not what I'm here for." "I know," he said, "but I am." He pulled out his wallet. I flinched. "Don't." He paused, surprised. "No more bills," I said. "You don't get to reduce me to a donation." He put it away slowly. "Then let me do it differently." He stood, brushed off his suit, and turned toward me with his full attention. No phone. No rush, no money in his hand, only presence. "Do you want something to eat?" I blinked. "What?" "Lunch, dinner, a real meal, and time to talk. Or not talk. Whatever you want." It wasn't grand. It wasn't dramatic. It was enough. The first thing he'd offered without assuming I'd take it. "Okay," I said. He nodded, and for a moment we just stood there, two people with the same eyes, learning how to exist in the same space for the first time. We ended up at a diner, one of those places where the ketchup bottle is always sticky and the booths are patched with duct tape. He sat across from me, awkward in his tailored suit, like he'd never touched anything that hadn't been ironed first. I ordered fries. He ordered nothing. He just watched me eat, not in pity, not in shock, in silence, in apology. "I don't know how to start," he said eventually. "I dipped a fry in ketchup. You already did." He nodded. "I don't want to pretend like I didn't fail you." I stopped chewing. "You didn't just fail me, you never even showed up." He looked down, then up. "I know." "So why now?" I asked. "Why not 15 years ago?" He took a breath. "Because 15 years ago I thought ambition made me strong. And now? Now I know it made me blind." For a long time, I didn't speak. Just let that land between us, thick, undeniable, true. Then he pulled something from his pocket. Not a wallet, not money. A folded photo. The one from the magazine. The one with him and my mother. "You kept it?" I asked. It was the only proof I once mattered to someone like her. His voice cracked. And my chest did too. "Ellie," he said quietly, "would you let me know you?" I stared at him. At the man who never showed up. Who now wouldn't stop showing up. Not with grand gestures, but with real ones. "You don't get to fix me in a day," I said. "I don't want to fix you," he said. "I want to stand where I should have been standing all along." The silence this time wasn't heavy. It was soft, like something healing. like something not erased, but gently rewritten. Weeks passed. I still sold candy, but not because I had to, because it was mine. He didn't try to erase where I came from. He didn't send drivers or throw money at me. He came, he sat, he listened. And one day, I let him hold my hand. Not because I needed a father, but because I finally believed he wanted to be one. Some stories don't end with applause. They end quietly, with a hand resting on the edge of a diner table, with a man showing up every Thursday just to ask, "How was your week?" With a girl learning that maybe not all disappearances are permanent. He never said sorry the way I imagined. No big speeches, no staged reunions, just presence, consistent, unflinching, human. I still sell candy sometimes, not because I need to, because it reminds me where I started. Because some people still pass by without looking, but others stop. Ask my name, tell me theirs, and when they hand me $1, they look me in the eye. That's what he gave me. Not money, not a fix, a mirror. The chance to be seen as more than a silhouette on a street corner, as a daughter, as a person, as Ellie. One day, he brought me a small box, nothing expensive, just a music box, the kind you wind gently. Inside, there was a note written in slanted, unfamiliar handwriting. "I didn't look for you, but I'm never looking away again." I didn't cry when I read it. I just nodded, like something old inside me had finally exhaled. And when people ask how I found my father, I tell them I didn't. Not really. He found me. Not when I was small, not when I needed him most, but when I stood on my own, broken, proud, whole, in spite of everything, and looked him in the eyes. I didn't need him to save me. I only needed him to see what he almost missed. And when he finally did, it wasn't a beginning. It was a choice. To rewrite what we could, to carry what we couldn't, and to walk forward, together, even if just one step at a time.